Hey everyone, I'm Aria. Hope you all had a lovely week. So today I am building in Brindleton Bay on the 40 by 40 Chateau Frise lot. I think that's how you say it. I don't think I've ever built on this lot before, but it's actually a pretty expensive lot. So the house that I'm building is inspired by a game that I've been playing a lot recently, which is Stardew Valley. I've actually spent way more time than I should probably admit playing that game, but I've loved it and I'm obsessed with it. I actually only got it like a month ago, which I know is pretty late since it came out several years ago now, but I don't know, I've never really, it's not that I've not been interested in playing it, it's just I never got around to it, I guess. But anyway, I started playing it recently and I absolutely love it. I love the whole, starting from nothing and building your little farm up, I guess, kind of like the rags to riches challenge in The Sims. So that was kind of what prompted me to do this build, really. And so this is actually a starter home. I think it comes in at just over 15,000 simoleons, which includes which if you include the base lot price, which is quite expensive, I think it's like 1,500 maybe, it comes in at around 19,000 simoleons in the end. So when you move a sim straight out of CAS into this lot, they have like 100 I think left, which most of the time if you start a rags to riches or a legacy challenge just straight out of CAS, most of the time the challenge rules say that you need to take your starting funds down to about 1,800, I think, which then you can buy a bed and a toilet or a fridge or whatever with the rest of that money. So the house itself is obviously very run down because I wanted it to have the whole grandpa's farm theme to it, that when you start you're, instead of having like a basic very plain lot, I mean, when you start out, you do start out with like nothing, a literally plain blank slate lot, which if you think about that in reality, I mean, I know obviously it's The Sims, it's not meant to be realistic, but if you are to inherit a property from your family in real life, you don't very often just have a plain blank field with nothing on it. There's usually a building of some kind at least. So I thought it would be a good idea, or it would be a fun idea, to try and build something that you can renovate over time. So that's kind of where this idea came from. So yeah, it's very run down. It's got a bed, a fridge, a counter and a toilet in it, and that's pretty much it for furniture. The rest of it is all debug or live edit, so it doesn't cost anything. I tried to build it originally, I wasn't going to have it as a starter home, so I tried to just build like a house, a shape that I was happy with, one that fitted in with the style of Brindleton Bay, which I'm actually really pleased with the way the shell came out. I've been loving doing diagonals quite a lot most recently, so I definitely wanted to include one, and I think it looks really cool as like a garage or maybe like a skill building area or something. So that's kind of why I chose this shape. And the roofing, I don't remember what it's called, is it gambrel, the style of roofing, which is this kind of Dutch colonial kind of style. I think it's called gambrel roofing. I really like it, and it lets you build a second story into the roof space without the build itself being like majorly high. And I really like doing that, so that was another reason why I chose this kind of style. But it wasn't until I was about halfway through doing the outside, I think I started to add like the little shed area that I'm gonna be adding in a little bit, that I thought it would be really fun to make it a starter home. So I keep on checking the where you save it, what the price is, and I was like, oh, okay, it's not actually that bad, it's like 19,000 or whatever. And then it wasn't until I was checking I don't know what it's actually called, but when you check the top left hand button that's currently flashing, and it tells you what the total lot price is, and it tells you including the base lot price. that it was like 22,000, and I was like, oh, I really need to like get it under 20. So I think I got it down to like 19,000 something, and then when I went to upload it, it was like 15,000 on the gallery. So I think I did pretty well considering it's actually a 5-bedroom house. Like once you've obviously completed it and finished all the walls and everything, I think it's a 5-bedroom 3.5 bathroom house. So pretty big for a like a farmhouse or a like a legacy home, which was another thing I was kind of like, another thing I had in mind was my let's play that I have on my channel. I haven't uploaded an episode of that in quite a while, and that was because I just wasn't really connecting really with it, and it kind of made me really sad because I love The Sims and I love the Sims that I've created, and I don't know, I just wasn't really feeling that connection with them that I do with the other family that I play on Tumblr. So I was trying to think of a way that I could make it a little bit more interesting for myself, that I actually want to play with it. And so I thought, with the recent events in the last episode, which I think it was over a month ago actually, but my founder Sim's husband did pass away, so I thought with this kind of style build it would be interesting to say maybe that he had this big family property that they didn't know about, and it's come through in the inheritance that the family have inherited it, or the second generation heir has inherited this property from her father, so they can like move into it, and then slowly through the generations they can renovate it. So that's kind of what my plan is for them at the moment, but we'll see whether I actually get around to it or not. But yeah, it wasn't until I was adding the shed, which I think I add just in front of this windmill, that I was like, oh yeah, I want it to be a starter home. And I realized that even though all of these things that I'm like playing around with at the moment are all live edit debug items, the walls themselves, the windows, the doors, even though I haven't done any interior furnishing or haven't even painted the walls or anything, it's actually quite expensive. So then I started deleting walls and deleting windows and adding in like, I don't know what you would call them, just gaps gaps in the walls, and creating like little holes and things, and trying to make it look like the framework is showing through. I don't really know what the inside of a wall actually looks like, so I've just kind of gone off of pictures. So hopefully it kind of looks a little bit right. But yeah, I just basically kept on deleting walls and deleting the windows where the walls I had deleted were, so that it looked a little bit more run down than I kind of had initially in mind, or like originally in mind. But I am really pleased with how it came out. I've posted a couple pictures, but not really that many, I think 2 on Twitter, that I really liked, and then realized that I completely forgot to tag it, so like nobody saw it. But I really liked the pictures. And if you move, I think the lighting on this lot is best in like the evening, so I changed the lighting in the screenshots and everything, and it gives it a really nice kind of autumn ready glow. And then with the MXCO on my Reshade turned on, it made it look even nicer. So I was really pleased with how the screenshots turned out. But even without Reshade, to be honest, I think the lighting on this lot is really nice. So this is the little shed that I was talking about. There isn't really that much in here, but I thought it would be a fun area for maybe skill building, like the woodworking station or candle making, or maybe you could turn it into like a cow shed or a llama shed, or you could put your chickens in here. I don't know, I just thought it was a fun little extra building. Which in the end, there isn't actually that many walls left on it. I've tried to create like some nice holes in the roofing, and I'm actually really pleased with how the holes in the roofing came out. But yeah, these things are from, I think, the cats and dogs pack. I'm not really sure what they're actually meant to be, but they look really nice as kind of makeshift door frames. And I actually, at the moment in the video, I have like roof trim on all of the roofing because I've used the two different like wall paints on the roof and the walls underneath, and without the roof trim I didn't really like that it was such a harsh kind of gap. But I actually forgot how much money that it takes to put roof trim all the way around the tops of the walls, so I end up deleting it. And in some of the screenshots I think you can kind of see like where the gaps are because it's basically just like a solid white line from the floor above, and I don't like it, but it is what it is, so you just kind of have to ignore it. But you know, once it's fully like redone, fully decorated and refurbished, I think it will look really nice. I don't really know what color scheme that I want to go with yet for like the final renovation of it. If I do get round to it, and you know, my plan is to obviously use it in my Let's Play, so if I do get round to doing that, I am interested to see kind of what the end result looks like. The bedrooms up here are on the small side. There's a big double bedroom down the downstairs, which I've put or had the idea of for the very front, which I guess in most houses would probably be a lounge room, but I thought the lounge room would be really nice to have on the back of the house, like through the first archway, and then the kitchen dining room like over to the right hand side, and then the front right hand room I thought would be like a good double bedroom with an ensuite, and then upstairs there is another decent sized double bedroom with an ensuite in the diagonal part over the garage. I've actually removed half of the floor in this room, which I thought looks really cool because it's like a big gap in the floor. And then the other three bedrooms, I'm pretty sure the one above the double bedroom downstairs, like on the front of the build on the right hand side, that bedroom, I'm pretty sure you can get a double bed in there, but I'm not sure. It might have to be like against the wall. And then the other two are pretty decent size for a child's room or a toddler room, or maybe even an office if you wanted to turn it into an office, but you won't be able to fit a double bed in there because they're quite small. But I mean I don't know what other people think are decent sized bedrooms is different to other people's ideas of a decent sized bedroom. I don't like to have massive rooms. If I can fit, you know, a bed and a table and maybe a dresser or something in there, then that's a decent sized room to me. Because any bigger than that, I'm like, okay, well, what do I put in it? Like, you know, I can just like clutter it up with furniture, but my Sims most of the time don't use any of the furniture, and it's just wasted space and wasted money. So I prefer to have the rooms just a little bit smaller, so I use less stuff and my Sims save a bit more money. But you know, that's just me. So this area on the very front of the lot here, I had in mind for like a crop field, or maybe you could use it as like a roaming place for your animals, but yeah, this was the area that I really enjoyed doing because I add quite a lot of live edit grass and it's all very overgrown, and I really like how it turned out. There's mushrooms in there, and I think I've put like a bunch of stone and some rubbish piles from Eco Lifestyle. I've used those everywhere. There are some things in the debug menu, I think, that actually cost money, so I had to be really careful and make sure that I used the live edit ones, which are free. But yeah, the other ones, I think there's one that's got like a mattress and like tires and things, and then there's another pile that's got a bath in it, another pile that's got like a fridge on its back, and they all cost money. So I don't think they're expensive. I think they're only about 20 simoleons like per pile, but you know, the budget that I was working with, I couldn't afford it, because in the end the sim that I moved in to take all the screenshots literally had like 100 simoleons, and that was it. So it was a good job that I didn't use them. Obviously, if you wanted to add anything, then you do have that little bit of money left over, and obviously, of course, you can delete walls and windows and doors and things that actually cost money if you wanted to save a little bit more. But the idea was that you had a little bit you know, just to pay your bills or to get food. I haven't included any lights because they're really expensive. And I've put a couple of lot challenges on too, like the creepy crawly ones, and there was another one, I think is it Grody or Grody? I don't really know how to say that. But it basically just makes everything like super dirty overnight really quickly. And what's the other one that things come out at night? Is it like it's not the penny pixie one, it's the other one, maybe it's like the gnome one, I don't remember. But basically things just break. Like if you have ghosts, everything overnight just suddenly breaks and you end up with like broken toilets and a broken sink. And I have played with that lot challenge a couple times and it's kind of annoying. But it's also really fun. And it gets your Sims handiness skills up really quickly, especially if you can't afford to hire a repair person every single day. So yeah, that was really fun. So I spend quite a lot of time on the terrain paint on this. Usually I would kind of cut it out or maybe just leave like a small segment in and then cut the rest of it out, but I'm actually really proud of how the terrain painting in this came out. I spent a long time on it. I think I spent like an hour just painting the floor, which, you know, I do usually spend a fair amount of time because I like to make sure that it makes sense and that it's all blended in. But I think I said this in another one of my videos, in that because I like to put so much detail and like shading and things like I'm doing now in the terrain paint, I usually make the most of the whole lot and use right up until, you know, the boundary of the lot, but then the rest of the world around it looks really strange because you can't blend it out into the world. So it does look very like cut off in some places or very square at the edges, which I'm not a huge fan of, but you know, I can't really do anything about that other than moving it onto like a massive lot and then just blending it out from there. But then, you know, what's the fun in that? You might as well just start off on a big lot and they cost more money. So hopefully I'll be able to use some use the tool mod and move some bits out just to make it look like it blends out a little bit more. But obviously terrain paint wise, you can't tool mod terrain paint, so wish you could, but no. So yeah, this area back here, like behind the shed, I didn't have any plan for that back there. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, so I just kind of fill it in with a whole bunch of grass. And I think I put the like broken swing set out the back, so I wanted to include a swing set but obviously didn't have enough money for it, so I had to make a broken one with the tool mod, which I'm really pleased with how that came out. Actually, I've used some wooden beams from the Eco Lifestyle pack, and I've used the horseshoe from, I think it's Outdoor Retreat, from one of the games that come with that pack, and it kind of looks a little bit like chain. To be honest, looking back on it now, I probably should have made them a bit smaller because the chain looks really big. But you know, it was my first time doing something like that, and I usually like to practice things before I record it so that it kind of saves me a little bit of time with editing. But yeah, this time I didn't practice it at all. I literally just found a picture and went for it. So what you see is my first attempt at doing it. So, you know, in the future I will be able to refine it and make it look a little bit tidier. But, you know, for a first attempt, I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. So I did skip quite a lot of me, or all of me actually, deleting the walls and trying to get the price down to starter home equivalent. I just got carried away and completely forgot to record it because I was just doing like one little bit and then was like, okay, I'll undo what I've done and then start recording and, you know, do the rest of it. But I don't know, I just got distracted by how well that I was liking what I was doing and just carried on and, you know, forgot to record the whole thing. So you'll see what I've done in the screenshots at the end, but basically what I did was delete the walls out and then use the fence pieces that I originally used out on the like crop area that I've replaced with the cottage living ones. So they're all base game on the house, and just lifted them up. I haven't rotated any of them with the tool mod, that's just how they come. And yeah, just put them up against the windows so it kind of looks like they're boarded up. And as for the gaps in the walls, I've used a couple of wooden beams and little fence pieces from the Eco Lifestyle pack. Haven't rotated any of them either, and I've just kind of used the 09 keys and place them where they kind of look like they would go. I've tried to do the same thing with the like where I've deleted the doors and the windows and made it a gap so that it kind of looks obvious that a door or a window is meant to be in there. But obviously if you choose to renovate this, you delete the windows and put the windows and doors wherever you want to. That was just kind of my idea, so that it gave me a little bit of a clue when I come to later actually renovate this in game, so that I can remember like what I had planned for that section of the wall. But you know, I think I'll be fine remembering it. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. Back here, I originally wanted to put a pool in this little section behind the garage, but to add a basement in, it costs quite a bit of money. Because what I wanted to do was add in a basement and then put like little water stains and things on the bottom to make it look like it was completely drained, like a, you know, big empty pool. But it costs way too much money. And when I tried to make like a pond kind of situation, I think, oh, that kind of looks like a makeshift pool, it just didn't work because of the like sloped sides and everything. So I figured I would just leave it as, you know, a big open area overgrown with grass and things, and then when I come to, you know, fix the house up, then I can add a pool later on. And it also would have been pretty small because it's, you know, quite a small space behind the house, which you can pull the lot forward no problem. But yeah, that was my idea. So this garage door I originally had, I think, from the industrial loft kit pack, the door from there, and it's not that expensive. I think it's only about 250 simoleons, but that was money that I needed. So I just replaced it with a debug garage door, which doesn't really give the same look that I wanted, but you know, it looks fine. So this is the broken swing set that I mentioned earlier that I'm kind of trying to build now. I actually tried to find a picture of kind of what I had in mind on Pinterest, and I couldn't find one. I found quite a lot of pictures of swing sets that had been renovated. Quite a lot of them used old tires and things, and they look great, but that wasn't what I was after. That wasn't the idea that I had in mind. I was looking for like a completely abandoned like kids park or something that I could take inspiration from, but I couldn't find any pictures, so I don't know whether I was just searching up the wrong thing, but this is what I kind of had in mind. So yeah, like I said, the horseshoes, I probably should have sized them down once and they would have been, you know, decent sized chain, but yeah, they are a little bit big, but I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I use a board from, I think it's from Get to Work. I think it's meant to be like a shopping sign, but it's the debug version or like the live edit version, so it doesn't cost anything. These little planks, I really thought they would be good for the seat, but they didn't rotate the way that I wanted them to. So yeah, this like wall plaque here, there's one in the wall decoration category that does cost money, and then this one is free. I don't know why this one is free, but it is, and it rotates really nicely, so I thought it would be good as like an old seat. And I put a couple more over here just to kind of look like it's broken, and then some more loose ones on the floor underneath it, and I thought that it just kind of gave it a really nice effect. I mean, not that you can see them because the floor is completely covered, but you know, the idea was there, at least. Too much detail that nobody else really can see, but that's just me. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this turned out, and I thought it was a really nice spot as well for like a kid's swing, because it's kind of in the garden, but out the back you would have more of like a patio maybe with table and chairs, and then the, you know, kids play equipment off to the side behind the shed. But so yeah, the last thing that I do is add a couple of furniture pieces and the rubbish from the Eco Lifestyle pack. So the cooker that I've just added and this bathtub are free from the live edit menu. They don't cost anything, so that cooker doesn't work, but the counter, the fridge and the bin and the bed are all fully functional, and I have made sure that you can actually get into the house and, you know, walk through the rooms and things. So you should be able to, you know, your Sims should be able to go into this house no problem. I have play tested it, so fingers crossed it all works. The only room I believe that has not been like, or has not had any walls knocked down is the bathroom upstairs, because I thought I would be nice and, you know, not allow your Sims to be embarrassed by people walking in on them, or, you know, having their privacy whatevered because somebody's walked past the outside of the house, you know. So yeah, the upstairs bathroom that has the toilet in it has all its walls, which I didn't do intentionally, but that's just how it turned out, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So the bedroom downstairs is the only one with an actual functioning bed in. The other bedrooms are all just full of rubbish because, you know, furniture costs money, and as much as I would like it to be full of junk and full of old furniture and things like that, I couldn't afford it. So, you know, if you have lots of money or you're okay with using cheats, then you can fill it up with maybe like burnt furniture and things, which would be really cool, but I just couldn't afford that. So anyway, we are coming to the end, just adding a few last minute details, so I really hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know if you renovate it. I would love to see pictures or videos or whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.